Hey everyone, I am super excited about this video because today we're going to look at part 2 of how to connect an agent to a calendar. So in this video, we're going to give your tool to an agent, and the agent is going to be able to book a meeting straight to your calendar, but with the added difficulty that the first requested time will not be available. So your agent will have to get a response back saying, this date is not available. How about these two options or these three options? And it's going to happen all automatically pretty fast. Before I'm going to show you how it's done, I'm going to show you an example, and then I'll take you module by module, step by step, how to do it by yourself. As always, all of my scenarios, all of the JSONs will be available for you to download and import straight into yourmake.com. So you don't have to write anything down or copy anything down. You just go to my website, you download the JSON, you import it. Just here, you can see there's the import blueprint. You can just import it and you'll have the exact same scenarios with the exact same settings. The only thing you'll need to do is change the keys and the webhook address, but I'll show you how. If you haven't seen my first video on how to set up a voice agent, watch it. I can link it here as well. But it's pretty easy. I'll go step by step. And if you don't know me, my name is Carlo. I'm an AI enthusiast. I'm an executive coach as well, and I just love everything that has to do with AI. So let's get started. We'll start with an example and we'll head down from there. So this is an agent that you can import and connect to anywhere, your website, wherever. This scenario will work with chats as well. As you just have to import, copy paste the webhook. But for this example, we're going to do with a voice chat. So this is what a conversation sounds like with a booking agent, and you'll see it activate the make scenario. All right.
Hi, I'm Eric. How can I help you today?
Hey there, Eric. I would love to book a meeting with Carlo tomorrow, the 24th of March.
Okay, I can help with that. Just to confirm, you'd like to book a meeting for tomorrow, March 24th, 2025. What time would you prefer? Also, could you please spell out your email address for me? I want to make sure I get it right to avoid any confusion.
Yeah, so I would love to book a meeting at 9 a.m. And my email is charles@gmail.com.
Perfect. Just to confirm, your email is charles@gmail.com. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, looks like 9 a.m. is not available. I am so sorry about that. Here are some other possibilities. 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m., or 5 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Do any of these times work for you?
Yeah, 11 a.m. works fine for me. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Your appointment has been booked for March 24th, 2025 at 11 a.m. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, thank you very much, Eric.
Happy to help with your booking. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, so what did we see? Amazing. First of all, it worked. I'm sorry I should have pointed out that this is a demo calendar, and I've added some test bookings to simulate a busy schedule. And here you get the 30-minute booking that was just added, and the email was also sent to my email with the invite. So booking, super important, whether you're an executive coach, dentist, or real estate, in the real estate business, everybody has to do bookings. And if you implement such a system, it's going to help you. I have to say, there are mistakes, so it really depends on a few things, settings, but we'll look at them together. So if you don't know how to add this tool to your agent, feel free to look at my previous video, but really in short, I've done it with ElevenLabs. You can do it with Vapi, but in ElevenLabs, when you set up a conversational agent, so just showing you what it looks like when you are in your home, when you just log in to ElevenLabs, you have conversational AI. There you have your agents, and you can set up an agent. I've named it Mentor. It shouldn't be named this way, but something that's important here is that you're a support agent named Eric. You're very friendly, enthusiastic. You want to help the customer get the help they need. Answer in 2-3 sentences in most cases. If a user's query is to book a meeting, use the calendar tool. Here's the standard operating procedure for booking a meeting, the SOP. Ask the preferred time and date. Assume the year is 2025. Please ask the caller to spell out the email address and confirm it to avoid mistakes. That's a pretty important part, because if you're booking a meeting and the guy is not getting the invite, it's lost. If the preferred time and date is not available, you have to reuse the calendar tool to book a meeting with the newly proposed time. So this is an important step, because the agent needs to know that if the proposed time is not available, he has to use the tool again. All right. And so that's the model the agent is using, Gemini 2.0. And here is the tool, right? So you can add a tool pretty easily, and I don't want to dwell on it, but it's pretty simple, right? Use this tool to book a meeting in the calendar. The agent is going to read the description and the name of the tool, so it's really important you write this well. This is the webhook, right? And we're going to see it later. And it's just passing 4 parameters, right? So it's passing the time preferred, the preferred time of the meeting, the date preferred, the preferred date of the meeting, and the name of the caller and the email, right? So it's 4 parameters that the agent is going to pass on to our webhook. So we're pretty much done right here. Okay, so that's the whole setup. Let's dive into our make.com, because this is where the work is and this is where everything happens. So as I said, the webhook, that's the first part, right? That's the part that's going to be activated, the tool that's going to be used by our agent. And that's the address right here. And that's the address you want to put inside your tool, your ElevenLabs tool, your Vapi tool. It's going to be the same. You're going to use the webhook address, and you're just going to copy and paste it here. Make sure to change it to post and not to get, because you want to transfer information, not just receive information. So that's the first step. So the second step is an LLM tool. And in this step, we are going to transform the information we received from our agent into a format we can work with. So you see that we received the time preferred was 11 a.m. That's the second scenario, right? So we're talking about the one that succeeded, right? That was available. The date preferred was 24 of March 2025. My name is Charles, and my email is charles@gmail.com. So the setup here, again, everything will be in the JSON that you can download, but I've added some context here. So we just asked the user when they would like to book a meeting in GMT +2. You must output the date and time that they would like to book the meeting in format GMT +2, because that's my time zone. If you are in a different time zone, make sure to change the time zone here. And here is an important part: only output the converted date and time in ISO 8601 format, no notes, no text. The date format, ISO, and then there's the code and the example. Yeah, that's an important part, because in our next steps, this is what our modules will be using, right? So here's the format date and the time zone, and here you only have to change the time zone you want, right? And this is when the user would like to book, and that's referring to what we received from our webhook. So basically, our LLM is going to look at the time and the date we've given, the agent has passed on. Is going to transform it to a nice format that looks like that, which the other steps will be able to use. So in this case, we're going to use the module called Get Free Busy Information from our Google Calendar. It's in make.com. You just right click, you get Free Busy, and what it's going to give you, as it says, is if there's something in the calendar this time, yes or no. So in my case, I've added the result, right? So the output of the LLM from this 11 a.m. was right here. That's a result. 25/3 March 24th at 11 a.m. That's the output. That's exactly what we wanted. And so we're asking the get free the free busy module if this result, that's a minimum time plus 30 minutes. So there's a function called add minutes and then the results, and then you add 30 minutes if that time slot is available in this calendar. And so you have two options, right? That's why I added the router. So the router is going to funnel the scenario based on two scenarios. Either it's free or it's busy. So when you click on these dots, you'll have, first of all, the option to label, to add a name. And then the difference between free and a not free calendar slot is if the result has an array. So output, right? So you're seeing right here, this is the input, this is what I asked, and you're seeing that the busy here is empty, right? Because it cannot recognize anything at this moment at 11 a.m. I will show you in the previous scenario what it looks like, but we're going to start with the most easy and straightforward one. So if the array here is empty, it means it's free. And so this is my condition here. So the array length is 0. Okay, so again, you'll just have to import it. And so in this case, meaning it's free, we're going to take in all of the information, create an event. That's just an event where you put the name of the booking, it's Charles agent, the name of the person with the agent booking, the start date, and you add 30 minutes to duration. And all of the rest I leave as a default. The name, that's the attendee, and I've just added my an email address to make sure that I get the emails. But in this case, obviously, the attendees, you would like to put the email of the guest, right? So that would be the one that you would want to add. So that's it. And then you send an email. I added a step where you send an email to, in this case, you would also want to add the guest, right? The email of charles@gmail.com, new meeting confirmed with Carlo. Here's the link to the meeting. And you can add links to the meeting as well. That's all automatic. And then you put a webhook response. That would be the last step, where you say, great, your appointment has been booked. And it has a format like that. that's just the way ElevenLabs reads the information. So it's not going to read the open brackets, result. It's just going to read, great, your appointment has been booked. That's the easy part, right? What we want to look at now is what happens when your calendar is busy. So for that, we look at the history and we look at this run actually. Hold on. We look at the run that was the previous run, right? The run where I asked, let's book it at 9 p.m. So you're seeing here, that was my first request was, hey, I want to book a meeting at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. was the test one on my calendar. And so obviously it was not available. So the first 3 steps are similar, but then what happened was that the router transferred it to ChatGPT, to the LLM step. And the reason why it did that was that the array was larger than 1. And we can have a look at what it looked like in the output. You're seeing what we looked at, that the busy array is 1. You're seeing? And so here's basically what it says is that there is something exists between 9 and 9:30, and that's the whole secret to this scenario. So we're saying, okay, we look at the settings now, but let's go back actually to the diagram. So we said that there is a busy meeting at that time, so I'm not free, and I'm going to do it again, right? But now I want to get all of my calendar or all of my busy times for my working day. So I'm gonna take what I'm doing here basically. So we've established that I'm not free at this time, but I want to go back to my user and say, hey, I'm not free at this time, but I have this and this, 2 or 3 or 1 or 2 options I can propose to you. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to use the free busy information again. But instead of asking on what, on a specific hour, we're going to look at our complete working day. So let's say it's from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. This is the time frame we want to evaluate and see all of the free busy that we have during this period. I hope this makes sense. But for that, we need to take the start of the day. And this is where we enter the OpenAI, the step of OpenAI. We're going to set the time. Here is the difference. Set the time to 8 a.m. Now, if your working hours start at 9 a.m., set it to 9. If it's at 10 a.m., set it at 10. If it's later than 10 a.m., your life is good. All more power to you. But let's say it's 8 a.m. for the sake of this example. So the output of this will be a date in this format that has 8 a.m. For the specific day that the user requested, obviously. And so this is the result of the previous step, and we add hours, 10 hours. So depending on your working day, you might want to add 4 hours, 3 hours, maybe it's specific short window that you're taking these types of meeting might be 3 hours. So from these working days, you can play around with it. We're going to add hours, right? Add hours and then result 10. And the result of that will be a list of meetings. So let's have a look at what it looked like in our previous run. So in our previous run, we've asked that, and here was the output. So you're seeing we have a lot of I've added 4 meetings prior to that. So here you're seeing the 4 meetings, 1, 2, 3, 4. Disregard the Charles because that was the result of the successful booking. But before we booked that, we had 4 meetings, right? Test 1, test 2, test 3, and test 4. So here you see the hours that I'm busy. 9 to 11, 12 to 1, 2 to 3, and 4 to 5. That's exactly these blocks that I've added before. And so what we want to do now is not give him the time that we're busy, but the times that we are free. And for that, we're going to need to put it inside an LLM. But the LLM needs to get all of the information at once. To get all of the information at once and not getting it in these types of bundles, we're going to add an iterator. So iterator, aggregator, a lot of people get confused. There's tons of good videos on YouTube on how to use iterators, how to use aggregators. For this case, we're going to use iterator. It means we have a few bundles of information, and we want to pass them as one bundle to our LLM. Okay, so we're using an iterator, and I'm going to show you the setup, but the input basically is all of these times, these busy times, right? And we're going to pass them through a module called test aggregator, and we want to create one field from it. So here's the field, right? And it's in ISO format, obviously. So these are the fields. And so let's look at how it looks like, how the settings look like. So the iterator. Basically what we're doing is just you're choosing an iterator. You're always choosing the array. So how do you know what's an array? We wanted to ask, you can see there's a few modules free and busy, right? There's the Google Calendar number 5, and then there's a Google Calendar number 13. So we want to use this one. So an iterator iterates through an array. And how do you know what's an array? An array has an open and close brackets. So this is the one you want to choose. So you don't want to choose end and start. You just want to choose this field because it has the open and close bracket from the previous version. So he's going to iterate through the four blocked or busy meetings, and then he's going to send it to the text aggregator. And the text aggregator, you can add it the way you want, but for readability purposes, I just added busy from, and I had added these lines. I'm not sure what they're called, but I added these lines so that the LLM can interpret them correctly. Okay, so that's pretty much it. The iterator took me some time to work it out, but that's a very useful step. And I mean, once you get that, you'll probably use it in other scenarios. And then, as you can see, we're going to use Anthropic or Claude. And the reason I use that model and not ChatGPT is because I've tried a lot of models, okay? And this system is only going to be as good as your model. A lot of models do not understand times as well as you'd want to. And I've had instances where they propose meetings or they say, oh no, that's busy, that time is busy, but let's say 12 p.m. But 12 p.m. is busy as well. So the model did not really analyze the data correctly. And so I played around with a few models, and I ended up with Claude 3.7, Sonnet, and it works great. And before maybe, so let's first look at the setup, and then I want to show you about the cost of the different models, because I think it's always interesting to know about the tokens and just a little extra information. So I told him that he will act as my calendar manager, that they will receive times that I'm busy for a proposed day, and they're tasked with providing 3 alternatives for a meeting. So you can choose 2, you can choose 1, you can choose 4, whatever works for you. Please propose 1 to 3 time slots I'm free, or for a 30-minute meeting between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Again, play around with these dates. If your working hours are later, sooner, whatever, you can adapt that. Important, you will receive the times in GMT time zones. Your output has to be in GMT +2. That's for me. That's I'm located in GMT +2. Change it for yourself. Your output should be the proposed time slots in GMT without the reasoning. So that's also important, just because they like to explain more information. Here are a few other possibilities. That's the output I'm looking for. And please note my workday ends at 6 p.m. so we cannot start a meeting at 6 p.m. And I've added that because I've had other models propose meetings at 6 p.m., which is not feasible for me. If nothing is free on this day, please ask for another day for the meeting, right? And then the user, which is the user role we get here, are my busy times in GMT, and this is the text from the previous module. All right, so I hope I'm not explaining this too fast. But basically that's the whole thing, and then the webhook ultimately will get, I'm afraid that time is busy, but do any of these times work for you? And this is the result of Claude Anthropic model. If we look at how it looks for our previous results, a previous run, the unsuccessful one, that's how it looks. So here are a few possibilities: 11 to 11:30, and if you want to keep it shorter, you can just ask, do you want to meet at 11, at 1, or at 5? That would be my change, I guess, in the prompt. I don't need to explain to add the 11:30 or 1:30. So here I wanted to show you the different models I've experimented with. So on the left side you have OpenAI, ChatGPT. In the middle you have Claude, and on the right side you have DeepSeek, the Chinese one. And so the first thing I wanted to show you is that some of the models are running with 4.0 mini, which works great usually for the most basic things. And you also have to consider into account that you don't want the most intensive research models, because they take time, and the longer it takes, the more confused even the agent is going to be. So the silence doesn't work well. So you want a fast model, but you want a model that works well, so you have to find that balance. So that's the first thing. I've tried a few models, and the first thing I want to show you is the pricing, right? So that's GPT 4.5. You're seeing that basically, if you don't know how it works, you're paying for input and output. What does it mean? When you're sending information to a model, right? And by information, I mean the actual prompt, right? So I'm paying for this, not just for the output, but I'm also paying for you will act as a calendar management. So it's not crazy prices, but when it's something you should consider as well, right? So you're paying for the input as well as the output, and the token, if we're talking about English language, it's approximately 4 English words. So per 4 English word, it equals 1 token, and you're seeing that basically the big price differences in the models. Let's just take, for example, Claude 3 Sonnet, right? And let's compare it maybe to 4.0 mini or 4.0. Okay, I think that's more or less comparable. So you have 4.0, it's 3.7 per million, and here it's $3 per million. And then the output is $15, and the output is $15. So same. That's pretty comparable. I've tried the 4.0, but it was way too slow. So it confused my agent. And so that's why I didn't go with the 4.40. However, I want to show you the DeepSeek and the Chinese. And also, that's why it made such a big, a big difference, so much noise. You're seeing that and we're talking about the chat, right? Not the reasoner, because the reasoner works great, but it's really slow. It means it's extra, it takes extra time to reason. But look at the prices, right? 7 cents for your input, and the output is $1. So look at the huge price differences. And actually, DeepSeek is really, really good. The reasoner is in my eyes one of the best, but it really works well. But look at the price differences. If you can compare the reasoner, let's say with the 4.5, I mean, you see why at $150 per million tokens, you see why it made so much noise, right? Not talking even about the input at $75 compared to 14 cents. So yeah, I just wanted to show you to take this into account, because basically your make scenario and your result of the make scenario will only be as good as the models you're using if you're including AI. So if something is not working, never hesitate to use a different module, and you can do it pretty quickly. You just ask, you add a different module. I mean, you can try DeepSeek AI, and it's always the same, right? It's always create a chat completion. Or you can try Anthropic, and it's the same, create a prompt. Or you can try OpenAI. Oh, sorry. You can try the OpenAI one. And for every one of these, you can also choose a different model, right? So you can try out the haiku or the tree opus, and it will, obviously it will impact the cost, but it will also impact the speed and the result. So if something is not working for you and you're not getting the results you want, try working with a different model. Anyway, that's it. I hope it's been helpful. I'm going to link everything on my website. Feel free to reach out if you have any question. If you'd like to see something more, feel free to reach out. Hope it has been helpful. Bye-bye.